Hello again, my friends, and it's Keith from IELTS Speaking Success with some more awesome tips to improve your IELTS Speaking Part 1 answers. And this is all about maths. Let's go. So, the first tip today is brainstorm ideas for the topic. You can do this in different ways, but I take paper and pen, and this is what I do. So let's brainstorm maths. And the first thing I think of is school. That's where we learnt maths. And at school, of course, we had addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and of course the 2 times 3 equals 6, those timetables. Do you remember your 3 times tables? We had to learn by heart. Also, well, all of this is called arithmetic. Adding, subtracting, and so on. Now, when it comes to maths, I also think of shopping, because we need to add when we go to the shop. Years ago, they used to have this funny machine with little counters they moved, called an abacus. I think it comes from China. But of course, nowadays we have this digital thing on our phones called a calculator to calculate the sums. Now, at home, we need also personal finance. Yes, this is my home. So pounds going in, and if you're not sure what that sign is, let's say euros, money going in and money coming out. So we need to balance the budget. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. I also think with maths about the stock exchange. Now, years ago, we used to have people on the stock exchange shouting loudly, buying and selling, and they needed to do maths really quickly. What's more, if you go to the casino, if you're fond of gambling and betting, well, you'll need maths, because if you don't have maths, you'll lose your money, you'll be in debt, or even in the red. So be careful if you go gambling and lose all your money. You usually do. I remember at school, at the higher level, we began doing equations using letters instead of numbers. A plus 2 equals B minus 3. This kind of maths was called algebra. Oh, and it was so difficult, but a lot of fun at the same time. Do you remember those irrelevant questions at school? If it takes 5 hours for 10 workers to dig a hole 2 meters deep, how many shovels do the men need? It's actually a trick question, because the workers are women and the answer's none. Ha-ha! Now, tip number 2, brainstorm vocabulary for the topic. This is actually connected to the idea brainstorm. We saw a lot of words there, but just to summarize, we've got to add to sum, subtraction, division. We've got basic arithmetic, to do basic arithmetic, calculate or figure out or work out the answer. We've got equations, so mathematical equations. We remember money in, money out. We've got income, money in, expenses, money out, and the need to balance the budget. So there are just a few simple words you may need. Let's move on. Tip number 3 is to listen carefully to the question. Due to nerves, some candidates just hear the keyword and give the wrong answer. So maybe the question is, did you learn maths at school? And you hear maths. Oh yes, maths is really important because, wrong answer to the wrong question. So listen carefully. Now, if you didn't catch it, you can ask the examiner to repeat. In part 1, you can. You cannot ask them to explain, but you can ask them to repeat. You can say, can you repeat, please? Can you repeat the question, please? Could you repeat that? Would you mind repeating that, please? Oh, that's clever. Nice conditional. Would you mind repeating that, please? Great. So you can get them to repeat. Number 4 is to know the typical questions, as always. So what do we get in maths? The common questions are, when did you start to learn maths? Did you enjoy maths at school? Is maths important? What is a good way to learn maths? And tip number 5 is pay attention to the tense. Every question has a tense indicator showing you the tense, like did, do, would, going to. Pay attention and follow the tense. So if they ask you, when did you start to learn maths? When did you? Past. I guess like most people, when I was a kid at school, it was a compulsory subject and everyone had to do it. That's it. Of course, don't speak like that. When you say was, it becomes was. When I was a kid, it was a compulsory subject. So do remember your contractions, but follow the tense. Next, I'm going to ask my buddies, Tom, Dick and Harry, to show you how you can enrich your answer at different levels to make it better and better. All about the question, is maths important?
Is maths important, Tom? Yes, I guess so. We need to know how to add and subtract. For example, when we go shopping, so we can control our money. Is maths important, Dick? Yeah, for sure. Basic arithmetic is a must for everyone. For instance, we need to plan a budget for our holidays so we don't go over budget. Harry, is maths important? Without a doubt. We can't get by without knowing the basics of maths. Take personal finance, for example. We need to have a good grasp of our income and expenses. Otherwise, we can easily overspend and end up in the red. So, in answer to the question, Tom gives a direct answer. I guess so, as does Dick. And Harry too, but slightly richer, without a doubt. Next, they each use some nice vocabulary to give their opinion. Tom uses add and subtract. Dick, basic arithmetic is a must, it's a nice expression. And Harry uses the phrasal verb, we can't get by, can't survive without the basics of maths. And then they each give an example. Tom's is a simple one about shopping. Dick is about budgeting for a holiday. And Harry, well, he has a nice expression. Take personal finance, for example. And he uses some good vocabulary. Have a good grasp or a good understanding of income and expenses. Money in and money out. And then finally, they each give a reason so we can control our money, says Tom. Dick gives a reason so we don't go over budget, spend too much. And Harry gives the consequence that if not, otherwise we overspend, spend too much, and finish in the red. A lovely idiomatic expression meaning finish up or end up in debt. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Tom, Dick and Harry.
Great, so I hope you can see how the ideas and the vocabulary have helped enrich the answers for Tom, Dick and Harry. I hoped you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do subscribe. The question today, is maths important? What do you think? Leave me an answer down below in the comments box, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.